Welcome back, everyone, to the Soft Talk Hard Truths podcast, where healing is quiet, honesty is gentle, and growth is non-negotiable. I am one half of this dynamic duo, Jay.
Yes. Welcome back, everybody. I am the other half, Shay.
And yes, like Shay said, welcome back. Stay a while, pull up a chair. You're gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have a
A little bit. Join us.
yes, join
Vibe
us.
with it.
Get you a swig of whatever wets your palate. Um, as I shall. No alcohol for me. Just
No.
straight water. I don't drink, so it's all nothing but water and juices. A little bit of soda. But
So you never drink.
I never drink.
You're a non-drink.
No, I'm
Okay.
not
Has
a
that been your whole life or?
yeah. I just
Okay.
I could never get down on the taste of alcohol. Now I have the reason I don't like alcohol is interesting. Um, I don't think I've ever shared this story like outside of like one on one. So buckle up, fam. Story time.
Mm-hmm.
So one day when I was about say between 3 and 5, whatever age where kids tend to spend most of their time crawling on the floor and getting into things that they shouldn't get into.
Mm-hmm.
That's important to the story. So I'm on the I'm on the floor, crawling around, getting into things that I shouldn't get into, and I noticed a what I thought was a can of Sprite. And the reason I thought it was a can of Sprite is because it was a can and had the word Sprite on it. So I crawl, I like Sprite. I'm a Sprite drinker. I crawl over to the can of Sprite. It's my dad's can. He's sitting talking to whoever he's talking to. I don't know. Um, get the can, take a swig, and it feels like my entire mouth. It's about to melt. That
Wow.
was not Sprite. See,
Okay.
what I didn't know was that Daddy liked to mix Budweiser in the Sprite.
Oh.
So yeah, my mouth felt like Hiroshima, and yeah, it was not fun. I jumped up, ran to the kitchen trying to get water or something, which you can't get because you're 3 years old and everything is giant. So I'm trying to get
Yeah.
yes, I'm trying to get somebody to help extinguish this level 4 fire out of my mouth. So that's a big reason why I don't do alcohol. Um,
Okay. Okay.
yes, and I've tried. I've had a pina colada here. Like I've tried had a little taste over the years, but I just could never get into it. I just don't. I don't like the taste of alcohol. So yeah, that's why Jay is on the straight and narrow, clean and sober.
Okay. That's interesting. That's a very interesting. I never heard of the mixture of the beer and the soda, but I'm not a beer drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never acquired the taste for beer myself. I drink other drinks, but I don't drink beer for sure because beer's, I don't know. I mean, to each his own. Some people love beer, but I think it even smells funny.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think it smells funny, and I've never had one that I particularly liked. I can say I probably only tasted two in my life. I think I tasted Corona and I tasted the one that's in the green bottle. So it's like Lowenbrow maybe or something like that. I'm not really sure because again, I'm not really a beer drinker. But I tasted those two. I didn't care for either or.
Yeah. Like the thing is, like I realize that I love mixing different drinks. And I guess I get that from him. But yeah, I don't mix alcohol into anything. Like I'm like a fruit punch and Sprite type person. Like you know,
Okay.
okay, little min May and high C, little like root beer and orange vanilla. Get me a vanilla root beer, like stuff like that. Simple shit. I don't be doing like the Alizé and the orange juice. That ain't me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, nothing wrong with it. Yeah. I actually like fruity drinks. The drinks that I do drink are usually like something that's mixed, so but with alcohol and, some fruit juice or something of that nature. That's my preference when I do have my drinks. But but yeah, okay, but I don't blame you though. I don't, that Sprite and beer mixture isn't sounding appealing to me.
Yeah. Or maybe it was Smirnoff. I don't know. He missed things with Smirnoff as well. Either way, I'm like, why
It
would you
wasn't
do this
there.
to yourself? Yeah,
Yeah, it
like
wasn't there.
why just destroy a perfectly good can of Sprite for no reason? I don't,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just one of many reasons why I don't deal with this man. Just okay. Your decision making process just is questionable.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you know. Which brings me to, I think it's a perfect jumping off point to the topic of our discussion:
Mm-hmm.
family.
Yep, yep, yep.
Today we're talking about family,
We are.
love, history, and of course complications. So if that story is any indication, the rest of this conversation should be fun. Uh, but I guess I'll start off like what's a family phrase or family saying, I guess, that still kind of bothers you. And I guess I'll expand it because it may not even be just something that people say. It may be just like an expectation. So any sort of expectation or like saying that really like gets to you still.
I just think that the thought process in general that, if your family that it's kind of almost anything goes, we family. So, you got to work every single thing out because I'm not always a believer that that's the case. So, I think certain lines, when people cross them, family or otherwise, it's a no for me. Yeah, it's a no.
Yeah, yeah. I think that like yes, family is important, but it being important for the sake of being important, I definitely disagree with. Like at the end of the day, we're all humans, and like you can't just say and or do anything and expect it to be okay just because we're family. It doesn't matter who in the family it is, brother, sister, parents. I think that especially is hard. Um, because like I said, they're humans, and particularly with parents, there's no instruction manual. Um, they're they're figuring it out on the fly, kind of like we're figuring out how to be kids on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
They have the benefit of having been kids, obviously, and having been raised by parents, but it's different when you're in that seat, because no, I believe like no kid is the same. So like yes, things get inherited, but it's not a carbon, a copy. Like each person has their own different personality. So
Right.
the things you went through, the things you did may not always work. Times change. The funny thing is, the thing that I always see is like, you know, things that you had a problem with, you then kind of repeat with your kid, and it's like, eh, you just kind of like end up repeating the cycle. But yeah, the older I get, the more I realize that yeah, just because someone is family doesn't necessarily mean that anything has to be accepted and anything goes. Um, I I am uh, much better, actually better than I give myself credit for at just cutting folks off. With no discrimination, equal opportunity cutter offer.
For sure.
I think I think
I'm
I
with
might
you
I
on
might
that.
I might make that into a shirt. Equal
Mm-hmm.
opportunity cutter offer. But sometimes it has to be like that. Um, Let me ask you another question. Where do you stand on like forgiveness, particularly when it comes to family members, because I see that, at least with me, I've seen that kind of be like an expectation that you got to forgive, insert family member here after they've done insert unacceptable act here, and it's like you're supposed to just forgive with no apology, rarely an acknowledgement of any wrongdoing, but the onus is on like the aggrieved to be to forgive.
Right. So, that's funny because in the terms of forgiveness, just in general, I think I'm probably often it's very hard for me to forgive certain things, right? So some things, so right. But when people cross certain lines with me, right, I'm not so sure if I fall under that realm of the people that are able to forgive, right? I can, because I'm quick to cut somebody off too. See, that's the thing. Like if you do certain things and you cross certain lines with me, there's really nothing to discuss, right? Because I feel like I'm pretty upfront about the things I expect in any kind of relationship that I'm in, right? And there's certain things I absolutely wouldn't do to you, and there's certain that we understand what respect means, and so when that line is crossed, it's pretty difficult for me. It doesn't matter if it's a family member, right? For me, I think maybe it's even a little bit worse if you're a family member, right? Because then it's an absolute no. It should be an absolute no. So that's what I mean. It's like I feel like there's this pressure almost from outside world. Oh, this is your so and so. This is this person. This is that person. You have to forgive them. Why?
Mm, yeah, well, indeed. I'm kind of right there with you. Like, one, it takes, for me personally, it takes a lot to really upset me, really get me bothered. Um, but that doesn't mean that I can't recognize when someone does something wrong. Um, and like, I would say I don't just give out or dole out forgiveness. And I think some people look at it as, well, if you don't forgive, you're kind of holding on to the anger. And I'm like, no, I can go my life without being angry. Like, I can definitely let it go, but that's not the same as forgiving somebody. Because for me, um, forgiveness is earned. It has to be earned. Um, because how do you forgive someone who doesn't even acknowledge that they did anything wrong?
Right.
And then if they do acknowledge it, they feel like they feel that they're in the right, or they feel they have nothing to apologize for, nothing to rectify, nothing to correct.
Correct. Absolutely.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like, there are steps to forgiveness, and unless somebody is taking those steps, there's really no need for me to forgive. Um, I can move on. I definitely cut you off. Like, I go about my day, but yeah, like you have to. It, Forgiveness it's an active process, and it's active on both sides.
Right.
Um, you were active in doing whatever it is you did. So why don't you be active in acknowledging and apologizing? Like when I mess up, I acknowledge it and I apologize, and try to correct it.
Right.
So I would expect that kind of, at least that, as like the baseline. So um, yeah, I don't really subscribe to the notion that you have to forgive folks, particularly if they're in your family. Because like I said, they be some of the worst ones, just habitual line steppers,
Yep.
and it's like, nah.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just
Under the family entitlement.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. Like,
No, you don't get a pass because you're a family member to just do whatever you want. You just don't. You can't do and say and treat someone however you want to because you are their family member. And then under that same guise, come back and say, but I'm whoever it is that you are. So when what does that matter? Right?
mhm.
Respect is respect. Respect is earned. right? And in order for you to keep someone's respect, you have to continuously be respectful, right? You can't keep being disrespectful to someone and then in return expect them to give you respect. That doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And before, people come and say, hey, family is important and all that, not nonsense, but all of that. Yes, family is important. Like, these are the people that are, if all goes well, these are the people that are with you your entire life.
Right.
But we're human also, and it's like, just because someone's like related to you, or shares the same DNA, that doesn't mean they get to do uh certain things that you wouldn't accept otherwise. Like, I've always had a problem with just like accepting that because someone is family. I don't give a damn. He like this. He broke my phone. It doesn't matter who he is.
Exactly.
You need to give me a new phone.
Exactly.
Something. Say sorry. Put him on a payment plan. Something. We ain't just gonna like. It's not water under the bridge.
No, it's not. And you know what? And that's the thing. And so people will always be like, "Oh, you got to respect family." Listen, it's not. I'm gonna agree with you 100%. This is not because there's not respect for your family members or you don't understand the importance of family, right? Because it is very important. I think that's part of why I have higher standards for family members, right? And if they were to do certain things, right, it hits a little bit different because I have you on a different level than I have these other people because we are family, right? And so I expect certain things out of you, just like I would imagine you would expect them from me. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's the deep respect for family that makes it so difficult when the lines are crossed.
Yeah, yeah, and I also think, when getting more into the family dynamics, I think folks are more interested in like I don't know, I don't want to say like position, but more the title than actually seeing people as people. And kind of what I mean by that, obviously the parent child dynamic. It's as if parents can never be wrong, even if they are wrong. So what? I'm a parent,
Right.
or you know grandparents, or uh, pretty much anything that's above quote unquote a child. So it's
Yeah.
like, you're on, that's pretty much basically is like, it's basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if you're a child, you just, it's like you're not a person.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
just, it's your aunt, uncle, grandfather, whoever, even like your big cousin, if they're like if they're an adult and you're a child. It's
Yeah.
like, you just have, you know you're just here, I guess, to listen and obey, be seen, not heard. And it's like, well, no, children have thoughts and emotions too, and they're observing, and they're taking in this world, all this information, including the things that conflict and that are just obviously wrong. Um, and so, growing up, you know, seeing people just be uh, obviously wrong about things, like things that are easily provable, and it's like, well, you're a kid, shut up. I have a problem with that, and okay, I'm not going to talk back. Um, but I'm also not going to deal with that person. And as much as it was within my power, even from a young age, I remember kind of just separating myself from certain people,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it's like, you know, in my again, I couldn't say it, but in my mind, Aunt so and so, Grandpa so and so is an ass, and that's just it. Was that's just,
Right.
that's in my head. I'm
Uh-huh.
not going to say it, but that's what it
Mm-hmm.
is. And it just, no. I'm not. I don't want to be around that. Like, I don't like the way being in that environment, being in that situation makes me feel. So I'll go.
You
I'll
said,
go. I'll be in the corner reading a book or whatever, and that'll be that. But I see that kind of happening in different families, and as you get older and you meet more people, it's kind of the same thing, even if it's like a presented differently. But like that part of that sort of family dynamic has always bothered me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is funny because when you're a child, being a child just means you're a little small person, but it doesn't mean you don't have thoughts and feelings and, opinions and things like that. And it's funny you say like, you can't say whatever it is you're feeling, but you can definitely express it in the way of, let me stay away from this person or what have you, because definitely when you're a child, yeah, you can't say something to, grandpa. You can't say something to aunt whoever or, uncle this one or that one because, I know in my household that's a no-no. You don't talk back to adults in general. And you definitely don't be sassy and smart mouthed and all that stuff, You're asking for trouble. Even if you were right, you're still asking for trouble because you're a kid, right? And it's always like stay in a child's place,
Hmm.
even so much so, God forbid, you correct someone, right, and you're actually right about what it is you're saying. It's even worse, right? Because you don't do that. You don't do that to an adult in front of other adults and things. So, that's actually funny. I remember that as a kid.
Oh yeah, I've corrected many adults.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's even funny, better when like you can get like, no, here's actual proof, and like, and then you do that in front of people. They love
Mm-hmm.
that. Um,
Yeah.
like my mom has had to come rescue me a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What I mean, yeah. Because that's their favorite. Being corrected.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, you know, but you're thinking like, why are y'all holding like why? I don't know why is it so like important to be seen as being right or be right, even in the face of something, even in like the face of like something that's obvious. And it's always the answer that I always got was, well, that's family, and I'm like, okay, but like you haven't really explained anything. Like you're just loud and wrong. I don't, I don't get it. So, um, yeah, I've had in my family in particular, I've definitely there are a lot of people I just don't uh, deal with. Um, funny story, again, story time. My one of my aunts, um, oh, she's passed away a long time ago, but she was, for lack of a better word, an evil person. Um, just things she said, things she did, and one thing I do believe, because I experienced it, is that children, particularly young children, may not be able to fully articulate how they feel. They may not even be aware of it, themselves. But like they know like when someone is off, or like there's just like yeah,
Absolutely.
there's a feeling like they, and again, it gets overlooked sometimes because a 3-year old can't properly articulate, hey, something seems wrong with this person. I don't like the way he looks at that 10-year-old girl, and it makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
Like 3-year-olds don't
Right.
say that. They're not able to say that. Um, what they'll do is that they'll hold on to their mom's leg real
Mm-hmm.
tight, or not want to be left
Mm-hmm.
alone. Um, or in my case, whenever my mom tried to leave me with this person, I would cry, and I would cry, and I would cry until she came
Mm-hmm.
back. And she learned I cannot leave my child with this
Right.
person. It doesn't
Right.
matter if she's my sister, my aunt. Um, and again, I didn't deal that much with her, but just something about it just seemed off, and I would just cry. And my mom was like, okay, you know what? We're not going to leave Jay with with this person
Yeah.
anymore. Um, so, so you know, but just those sorts of dynamics are there, and I'm appreciative that my mom at least understood that I wasn't
Yep. She
clearly not
picked up on it.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally anybody else on the planet, I'm fine with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I mean anybody. Like one time, I hugged a bum at McDonald's. Like that's how like happy of a child I was. Like I just hugging anybody.
But
With
not
this
this one.
person, no,
Mm-hmm.
no serious Sugarfoot. Not this person.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But she picked up on it though.
yeah, and also because she knew it was person because that's her sister. She experienced it. So I guess it may have even been kind of a validation. It's like, yo, this 2-year-old who can't speak, you know, cognitive sentences understands this. Yeah, all right. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm on with something. So, I appreciate that. And I feel for like kids or people who don't kind of have that type of support, where they're basically forced to be around and deal with people that, quite frankly, make them uncomfortable, or may in extreme cases may not even be
Right.
safe. So, because we don't talk about it a lot, but family, like no one hurts you like family, and I mean that in every sense of the word.
Yep. You can say that again for sure. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because it's
Even
like
even people.
I think that's the other thing. It's like you're not supposed. It's almost like even if it's there, you're not supposed to speak about those things. Any of the dysfunction, any of the things that are unhealthy, any of those things. Just based off of you saying how because it is true. I mean, it can hurt you like no one else, but it's just funny how those things are expected to not be discussed. And not be talked about and not kind of be dealt with a lot.
Yeah, I never understood that. It's like like in excuse me, anyone else, we're screaming to the mountains and trying to rectify this thing and bring hold this person accountable. Uh, but because it's crazy Uncle Joe, we're supposed to not supposed to talk about it. We're supposed to you know sweep it under the rug, and I was like, no, that's not cool. Um, Uncle Joe is a molester. Like, no, we need to deal with that. Like,
Yeah,
we don't.
yeah.
This is another time to circle the wagons. Like, this
No,
ain't that time.
no, it's not. No, it's
Like,
not.
you circle the handcuffs around his wrist. That's what you
But you
do.
circle.
Um, that's what you circle.
Circle.
That's that's what you circle.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. When you dial 911 because we had them rotary phones, you put that in a circle
Exactly.
3 times.
Exactly.
911.
Those three
Okay,
numbers in the circle.
that's that's a circle. That's a circle. That's,
Yep.
that's a
Yep.
circle. Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay. Making this person whole that's a circle.
Exactly. Those
But
are
like
all the circles. Not the one I'm trying to do.
those are the circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not like it. And again, that part is like I'm learning certain things about my family. As I guess as we get older, we do. Either we learn new things or we learn new things about things we thought we knew about. That's fun. That's
Mm-hmm.
always fun. Re-education of
Yeah,
certain
that's always
things.
fun.
Um,
Uh,
yes, like learn. You grow up thinking your uncle has bonus child, and you realize no, it's not a bonus child. It's an affair baby. Slightly different, not the same. A little bit of a
yeah.
difference.
Yeah, that
What
is a little different.
a little
That's a
different.
yeah,
A little different.
not quite the same.
Not not quite the same. Not
Mm-hmm.
quite the same. Just think like that.
Oh. Yeah, no, but these are the things. These are the
but
things. You hit it right on the head.
it's like, you know, if you're, and it's not just like that in and of itself. It's like you start thinking, well, damn, this bonus baby is like, my age. How does his wife feel? Like my aunt or your
Mm-hmm.
aunt or whoever. How does auntie feel about this? Because they're still married, by the way, because you don't get divorced. You
Correct.
deal with it. Uh, my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
pray on it. It's no, all the praying didn't stop him from doing this, but sure, let's
Right.
pray about it now. Yeah,
It'll turn it
that'll
around.
work. Uh, it'll turn around, But yeah, like how does you know how does she feel about this? How did she feel about this? You know, clearly, this person stayed. And again, it could be husband or wife, but this, the aggrieved person. How are they feeling? How did they manage to exist and basically survive with this? Because that's a certain level of trauma that we're actually dealing with. Like as you start to
Sure.
pull back the layers, like yeah, that's a
Sure.
traumatic experience. Having to be, if you stay around and you want to work it out, and even if it does work out, like seeing this person is a daily reminder of this betrayal, this breach of
Right.
trust, and it doesn't get
Right.
talked about
Right.
because it's not supposed to be talked about for some reason, but it's like it doesn't go anywhere. And it's like I can't imagine being in that situation, either doing it or being the one that is done too. Because like I don't like
Mm.
feeling like that. I don't like being in spots where I'm made to feel like that, and I don't know how I would deal with it. Um, but there will probably be police calls because I'm not dealing with it. Like no, like no, like no. Y'all gotta go.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta go. Cause yeah, cause like again, I know how I am. I'm not perfect, but there are certain lines, like you said, that I will not cross. Um, and if they are crossed, there's no coming back. There are some things that you cannot come back for. I think you said that. You said it
Mm-hmm.
perfectly. You just can't. All the apologies, all the sorries, all the baby please, you can't. Especially if I told you that was that was a line.
Yeah. That,
But you just start, as you learn things about family, and as you, I guess, learn new things about it. Um, I start asking like, how does this person feel about it? Because yeah, we're finally able to admit that this person did X. Did anyone check on on the person that
right.
did it to? Like we haven't gotten to
Right.
that part yet. And that part still gets swept under the rug. So um, yeah, families are fun,
Yeah.
folks.
Oh yeah. Some of the best reality TV, best drama TV, right at home. Right at home.
Yeah, 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 man.
Mm, 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 mm. And that's part those all those things too. It's funny because all that is like part of not just growing up but just growth in general, right? As you grow and you start to
Mm-hmm.
evolve, right? And you start to be more aware of surroundings and things and issues, and you become a more insightful and thoughtful person, right? And that's how those kinds of things creep up where you're like, wait a minute, was Aunt so and so really Aunt so and so, or was she not an auntie at all? So all those kinds of things. So it's like There's just realizations that you come to. And and it's funny because I've heard before people say, well, people don't put children in those kinds of things, right? So you were a child, so it's not things that you needed to know. Basically, there's a lot of things as a child that you don't need to know. And so then I guess the thought process is, okay, so you grow up into an adult, and then when you hear it or find out, then I guess that's just the way it goes. I guess that's how you learn this stuff, because nobody's going to talk about it because it doesn't get talked about.
And then, yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's like, we don't talk about it because it's not for kids, but it's happening to the kids, and we're not going to talk about it. Like that's even worse. Like, okay, well, we're not going to talk about predators because that's an adult topic. Okay, well, there's someone in the family that's preying on some of the kids, and you know about it,
right?
Like, but we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to say, stay away from Uncle so and so.
That's always a sore spot, right? That's because then you think about it, because these are your family members, right? These are, aunts, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, parents, whoever it is, right? They're all part of your bloodline. But when there is a situation like that and people are kind of like, instead of holding the person accountable, right? But kind of sweeping it under the rug because of who they are. Oh, that's aunt so-and-so, that's uncle so-and-so, right? So then it's like, how does that make you feel about those family members, right? Because would the same family members, if it was being done outside the family, be calling that person or that individual out and be saying how much of a travesty it is and how it should be addressed, right? And so, and if that's the case, then it's like, so what's the difference between here and over there, besides the fact that this is your family member and that one isn't? Wrongdoing is wrongdoing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And and there's also, and as you get older, you learn. Even in the family, there's still like the I was, of course not. I was talking, I can't remember the word. Patriarchy. There we go. It's like there's still those. Women are supposed to do this and this, and one of the things that I always not always but heard a lot growing up was this female relative is fast. For some reason, this person's fast, that person is fast, and I used to wonder what does that mean? Like, I'm fast, I can run. Are you what? Talking about fast? Bust your ass out on the track.
Uh-huh.
No. Let's line them up. Let's go. like, like my mommy never called me fast. What the hell, Mom?
Yeah.
Yo, you see me out here? We're gonna put it in here. I'm fast.
Like, no, that was the word though.
Yeah, that's a word. Then you learn. Oh, this is what it meant. And just typically, with someone, someone has sex or someone gets pregnant, or doesn't even do all that. She just gets labeled as that without actually even having done anything. But it's typically I don't remember. I don't recall any male relative being called fast. It was always the female relatives, and I had to check my mom one time because I think one had had a very dealings with. I don't want to say that a relationship, but dealing with a much older man when she was under 18. I don't know what age, but it's under 18. And she said fast, and I'm like, yeah, minors can't be fast. Underage people can't be fast. Um, no, like even if she was supposed to be there, he's old enough to he's old enough to to be
Yeah.
like, no, like she could have held up a sign, the shirt that says "I want this," and
It's supposed
it's
to be a
she
no.
legally can't consent.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's no. So like, but like having to explain that and explaining that and seeing like this confused look on certain people's faces, and again, it's the older they are, the more confused this look gets. I've noticed, which may be a generational thing, but seeing that confused look
Mm-hmm.
is very troubling. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, because there's just like so many other questions. Like how many times has this happened? You know, where are these young women now? Like, did anyone give them the support that they needed, or were they just like outcasted and called fast because they got into a situation with a much older person? Um, is the reverse? Did the reverse happen? Meaning, you know, one of the young boys ended up with a much older woman, and like, did anyone challenge that, or were they like, go ahead? You know, I'm pretty sure it was the
Right.
latter.
Right.
You
Double
know,
standard.
'cause that's
Mm-hmm.
what that's what double standards. We love them. That's how I like all my standards doubled. Um,
Oh, that's funny.
right? You just can't have a
To
standard. You
double
gotta
it up.
double up on that
Yeah.
motherfucker. You know,
There it
double up on that
is.
motherfucker. Okay? Hey, well, it's like did anyone call this out? It's like, oh, you know, you say we don't talk not you, but you know, we say you don't talk about sex with kids, but then this happened, and it's like, well, what now? Like, we're
Yeah.
here. Um, and then you know, you when you're actually able to have certain conversations, you not understand, but you learn. Okay, well, um, you know, we didn't ostracize or get rid of whoever, because you know he was the breadwinner. He was, you know, he paid for
Yeah.
everything. He was the dad of the household. You know, and it's
Right.
like, okay, cool, but here's this person's life is essentially destroyed. Like, and we're not even going to acknowledge that. We're just going to label her fast because it's always a her, and just blame her for everything and sweep things under the rug. Oh, by the way, we're going to ostracize this child because we can't have him around. So have him growing up thinking that the family
Right.
doesn't like him for some reason, not knowing
Right.
not knowing what he did, and it just builds and builds and builds over years and years and years. And like, I would, you know, I say this to you because I've seen these things happen in my own family, and I'm like, it doesn't make any freaking sense. Like, and it's like, y'all know better. It's like,
Everybody knows
don't do that.
better.
Like, y'all, yeah, if you talk to each one of them individually, they will be like, yeah, you know, you're right, you're right, you're right,
Yeah.
you're right. But I'm
Right.
like,
So
okay,
then
then what
what
the
happened?
fuck? How did 20 people know this is wrong, but y'all got
Yeah.
together and came up with this? Oh, it's the family. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And the poor girls
It's
don't get
family.
any, they don't get any help, right? They're scarred emotionally. They don't get the support that they need. They're not even told that that it's okay for them to feel the way that they're feeling. So sometimes it takes them a long time even before they need to, before they understand they need to heal from the situation, right? Or maybe even understand 100% that it was wrong, right? And that it wasn't them as it was portrayed, right? Because a lot of times the onus falls on that child, that young girl, for whatever reason, who is then ostracized. But so she doesn't realize, she thinks that if something wrong with her or something she did, you can believe all of those things. And so it's very emotionally damaging, and scarring. And that person very often has no one to go to.
Yeah, and it it definitely bothers me. I've seen it way too many times in the family and out. Um, it's like I don't know. I forget who I told this to, but it's like we have a hard enough time being second class citizens in our country. Now some of these people are second class citizens in their own family.
Right.
Make that make
Right.
sense
Oh,
because you're too uncomfortable to call something how it is and to hold somebody accountable. So we just want to blame this
mm,
child, have her thinking that
mm,
it's her fault. And it's like, yeah, even if they did something wrong, it doesn't mean it's their fault. Like, you can do something
right.
wrong and it still not be your fault. Like that can exist.
Mm,
like
yeah.
that happens all the time. But to just say, oh, this 14-year-old girl had, there's no way this 45-year-old man had any sort of self-control. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It just doesn't make
Okay.
sense at all. A grown man and a little child, and it is always a girl, unfortunately. And there's a lot put on their shoulders. Oh, she was enticing him. She was doing this and that. You're 14. I mean, do you really know? Do you really understand all of those things 100%? And whatever you don't understand, he does, right? And so, the
Mhm.
bottom line is certain things. It's like yeah, there'll be no responsibility on one side and all the responsibility on the other.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like, and it's speaking specifically about myself this time. I find myself kind of conflicted because it's like on the one hand you just kind of want to throw the whole family away, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just gotta just hey, and but it's like, is this everything? Is is this is this everything? I feel like it's not. And you want to know, not just to know, but maybe there is somebody that you can actually help, or like just let someone know, hey, actually, this isn't your fault. Um, these 25 people failed you.
Right?
Like there's,
Crazy as it
there's,
sounds, right?
there's no other way to say it. Yeah, you walking around with the weight of the world on your shoulders. No, these
Yeah.
50, these 25 people fucked up. Because they couldn't have an honest conversation and hold this person accountable.
Right.
Um, for what this person did, which was immoral and
Mm-hmm.
more than likely illegal. Um, and it's made even worse because the person is in your
There's
family.
that.
So
Yep.
there's that element. Like we talk about people like in the South and Alabama and in southern countries doing that, but hey, you don't talk about
Yeah.
it. You don't talk about this. Like, yeah, like it's amazing how we're able to like separate things and differentiate things. But yeah, like I kind of want to know so I can be like, yo, has anyone checked in on this person? Like because you know maybe the reason why they're spinning out is because of this. Maybe the reason why they're on drugs is because of this. It may not just be because he's a wild child. May just be maybe because he had no support, had no help, and
Correct.
this was the only way for him to cope. So like one
That's
wrong thing leads to another wrong thing, and now we're just talking about him being a drug addict as opposed to, well, no, this person was preyed upon or molested
mm-hmm.
or whatever by a trusted member of the family,
Right.
and no one came to that person's aid,
Right.
and now we're here.
Yes. I have
Uh,
often, very, very
so
often. Yeah, because they're trying to cope, trying to find ways to
yeah.
self-medicate themselves, make themselves feel better.
hmm and oh, by the way, they still have, they really can't, or rather, sometimes they're not able to avoid this person because there's
Yes.
functions or events, um, or my personal favorite is still
Oh,
live with them.
yeah.
So, so
It sounds
yeah,
crazy, but these things happen.
uh, Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to say that, F family, you don't need them, but it's just like, no one hurt, like I said, no one hurts you like family. So how do we deal with it? It's hard. Like it's hard having those conversations. It's hard. Um, yeah, it's hard having those conversations because sometimes those conversations involve telling people how other people really are. And like I guess if you've built up this image or presented this image of somebody or yourself, it can be hard to say no. That's not
Right.
it. This is
Yeah.
who this person is. That's hard. That can be traumatic. But it's like we have so many examples of the consequences of that, not of the troubles that occur when it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Those are tough situations. They really are. And it affects everyone. People don't realize. I think that even from the start, I think that everyone in the nucleus of it, I don't think they realize how much it affects everyone else. I think for some reason they think this will be something small, we'll just try to keep it in between, but it never stays in between. It always grows. I think they start off thinking they'll be able to keep it between maybe these three people, two, three people, but it never stays that way. They don't understand that it just continues to evolve, and then it affects everyone, and then it becomes something that everyone has to carry, right? When everyone didn't make the decision, you guys made the decision in the beginning that, this was the way it was going to be handled. And then it just spirals to everyone else. And I think they forget that part of it. Because again, a family is a family. So that's all members.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's switch to something a little bit lighter, or at least not as heavy. Not as heavy. So let me ask you something, Shay. When did you realize that your parents are just people?
I think that I realized pretty early on that my parents were just people. I was always a little bit more mature for my age as I was always growing. People always thought I was older than what I was. I guess because of the way I thought about things and the way I carried myself. And so I was fairly young when I realized that, that my parents are just people, right? And so that there is, I had to learn that and to just accept them for who they were, who they are, right? And I think that helped me maybe even as I was growing up, when there might have been things that would transpire. I think understanding that it's like, yeah, so there's no there's no perfect parent, right? There's no perfect person. This is just a person that's gonna make mistakes and not gonna do everything right. And I think I realized that even just about my grandparents too, because when we were younger, we lived with my grandparents. So I learned that about all of them just from seeing the things that, were kind of going on. Like, okay, yeah, so this is not like cartoon world and, a bunch of superheroes and stuff. This is just people getting through every day.
Yeah, fair enough. I was for me. It was when I was young as well. Um, Typically because I guess you learn something that pretty much like shatters your kind of worldview of this image of your parent. So like I said before, I am clean and sober. A big reason for that is because I used to have all these drug-free books and say no to drugs and whatnot. And I read them with like just one I love to read, but I was definitely very much into saying no to drugs and whatnot. Um, my mom smoked when I was young, so I wanted to imagine me reading these books about drugs and alcohol, which 99% of the time included smoking. Um, and the person that bought these books for you and told you to read these books smokes. So realizing that sort of conflict, like yeah, because it it's funny when like parents realize that you realize that something is that there's a conflict. Like that to me has always been a very entertaining experience. Um, Not the most fun, but it's definitely entertaining because like I'm reading and I'm like, it's like so yeah. I learned at a young age that my parents are just people. Um, uh, but that's definitely kind of got me into trouble, but has caused some issues because um, my parents, for some reason, when it comes to me, don't think they're just people. Um, and I have to tell them like, no, like you can't do X, Y, Z and it'd be okay just because you're my mom or my dad. That's not how the world works. There are actual consequences to all of our actions. Um, and I'm in a position where um, one of my parents has financial issues. Um, I would say at least 50% of it is through their own doing. But the other is, bad luck. People, bad investments, stuff happens. Um, but this, they seem to only focus on like
mm-hmm.
the bad luck part and miss the fact
Mm-hmm.
the things that they
What
did.
you
And it's
contribute.
uh like yeah, it's like you can control you control what you can control. Um, and I had to tell them like everyone makes all has like one or two really big financial mistakes in their lives. You have all of them. You have
Mm,
all of them.
mm, mm, mm.
Like I need you to understand the sheer amount of wrong decisions it takes to get to this point, even with the things
Mm,
that are
mhm,
outside of
mhm.
your control. And we go back and forth. And I'm like, I'm if you listen, I am not blaming you for anything outside of your control. Everything I'm saying is things that are within your control. You do not need five of everything.
Right. This is true.
If you if you do not have money, you probably shouldn't be loaning people money
Right.
and then getting upset when they don't
Mhm.
pay it back in
Mhm.
a timely fashion. So it's certain things, and it's like it's because like not only like do I realize that my parents are just people, is like the roles are
Right.
switching. Whereas like I'm becoming more of a parent, and they're becoming, and I hate saying this, but it's like they're becoming more childlike because like the things that I find myself being either being responsible for, paying for, overseeing, making sure that they're done, making sure that they're done right, um, asking questions, following up, going back
Mhm.
over things to make sure that they're done right. Um, Sound familiar,
Mhm.
Mom? Over there? sound like anything that you gotta do with a kid? uh, you know, taking people to doctor's appointments, picking them up. Um, so it's definitely frustrating to say the least. Um, but yeah, parents are just people. Um, to me, like that, and it like I said, it definitely. Um, I've had my mom in particular just say like I'm not just a person. I'm your mom, and I look her dead in the eye and I was like, okay, I was like, yeah, you are, but you also did these things, and we keep leaving these
Right,
things
right,
out of the story.
right. And they matter
Like they matter. Like that's
to
single
the whole
cliche. If you
story.
want to tell a story, tell a story. Because you
Mm-hmm.
gonna like it when I tell a story.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna
Don't
tell a
leave nothing
motherfucker.
out.
So if you don't leave nothing out, okay? And don't talk about well you beat me over the head or you if you brought it up I wouldn't have to.
That part.
Okay? If you're gonna tell a story, tell a story. So like we kind of go back and forth over that, and it's like it's not me beating you over the head with anything. It's not me digging, sticking the knife in or whatever. It's you keep leaving out these very important details, and when you leave them out, it presents a story that isn't
Right.
actually accurate. And if I called you delusional, you would be upset. But we're leaving
Right.
things
Key
out of the
parts.
story that are important. Yes, key parts. Nexus events.
Yep.
You just
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
just wake up with no money.
You missed all those steps.
No, like Thanos just snapped
Mm,
his fingers and you were broke. No, that's not how it happened.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
not how it happened. Okay, there were several. You were on this road, and there were several off ramps, and you went past all of them, and now you're running out of road, and there is no more
Yeah.
road, and you keep looking for more road, but there's no more road. I can't express any more
Right.
profoundly how much road there is
You're at
not.
the end.
It's like, it, you're at the end, and it's whooping your ass. But
Doesn't
there's no
change
more
anything though.
there's no more road.
Yeah. It don't change it.
It doesn't change anything. But like seeing a family member struggle with that is frustrating and it's hard because you know you don't have the experience. You don't know what they've been through. You know that you see them trying, like you literally see them struggling to like they want to do it themselves. They want to fix this because they've always been able to fix it, or they've always
Right.
been the person who's had to fix it. Um, my parent has always been the one who's had to fix it. So that's very difficult to get out of. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like you're just wired differently. Like I can tell you 1,000 times, ask me if you need help, ask me if you need help, say when you need help. It's just gonna go in one ear out the other because you are the one who's always
Yeah.
been the one who's had to fix things. But you're at a point where you can't. You literally can't. It's like I don't know how that feels. So I'll be
Right.
the first to admit I don't know what that's like. Um, but I know what I see. I can see someone banging their head against the wall,
Yeah.
and I can tell you,
Yeah.
hey, you're banging your head against the wall a lot, and and I'm sure that should have to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do something a little bit different. No, maybe not hit the wall. I don't know. I'm just a kid. I'm just a child. I don't have experience. But hey,
Yeah.
my head feels fine. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you on that 100%. They don't always like to. I guess it's because. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I am a parent, so I'm not sure if but I don't know if I always, because I'm not like that now. I don't always take the viewpoint that I'm right or every way I do something is 100% the right way. Because, things have evolved and I'm all about working smarter. So if there's something out there that my kids can show me that'll help me do something a little bit more efficiently, I'm all for it. But I think that maybe it's a generational thing too. Because I don't know, because my dad is very much a man's man kind of thing. And so he's a person, like, he doesn't like to come and like ask for help. It drives him insane if he has to ask me to help him with something. But most of the time, if it's something that has to do with, any technology, he needs help because that's just not his strong suit. But he cannot stand it, and he'll by the time he calls me and asks me to help him, I'll be like, well, how long you been dealing with this? He's like, oh, it's been like this for like a month or so. Why have you? Why did I told you? If you need help, call me. Let me know you need help, and I will help you. We could have got this fixed almost 2 months ago. He's like, oh, I didn't want to bother you. I told you to let me know, right? He's like, no, I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know we're gonna have this conversation again, but that makes no sense to me for you to be sitting there like having a problem that can be fixed within minutes for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and then keep saying, oh, I tried to do this, but you just did the same thing 50 times. And then, it's like you could have just asked me, right? And after the first time you did, you could have said, hey, I did X, Y, and Z, and I was sick because that's not the right way, and let me show you the right way. Instead of you keep doing the same thing over and over again. But he's not going to change because that's who he is. He's not. I guarantee.
I love how you
Just
ended
saying. I know him.
that. We're on like a
Nope.
2-minute rant, and then what do you think
No,
gonna change,
so I
though?
just figured I'd throw that in at the end, right? Because as frustrating as it is to me, I just got my head wrapped around. It's still going to happen, so just go ahead and wrap your head around that because it just happened a couple days ago, and it'll happen again. That's who he is. Yep, yep,
Just a matter of fact. No, the way you said it was just so intense. It was like you were building up to this moment of truth where you finally
no,
realized that I should ask my
no,
daughter. No, that's not how it's going to
I'm
go.
not.
It's just
Yep.
no,
No, the end of the
I'm telling the
story is
story.
he's not going to change.
It's
It's
going to
just going
change.
to be what it's going to be. So just deal with it. Guess I'll just deal with
Yeah, it's nothing,
it. Yep.
not the conclusion, just the next
Yep,
chapter.
it'll be
That's
the next
all.
one, and the
That's
next
all.
one is like, oh my goodness. It's cute though, sometimes it's cute. It's like, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about it. I'm like, that's why I told you to ask me.
But I think you're right. I think it is. It is not even a thing. It very much is a generational thing. Um, but for me, at least, it's still kind of weird because, like me, I'm the type person, and it took me a while to get there. I will ask if I don't know something, if I need help with something, I'm asking. Um, I'm an entrepreneur. I have no clue. Well, not no clue, but there's a lot for me to learn, and I'm doing this 3.5 years. I have no problem asking, seeking help, because if you don't, like, you're just gonna be guided by leaning on your own understanding, which is minimal, which is never a recipe for success. So I have no problem asking, investing time, money into learning something. Outside of entrepreneurship, I'm always asking folks. Um, I work in an environment where it's very technical. I ain't a technical person. I got a degree. I got a degree in finance. You give me some money, I'll flip it for you. But I ain't. But it's like
Yeah.
quantum spectrometers. That ain't my wheelhouse. So this is not. So if you need me to buy something for that, I'll buy it. But I'm asking you, hey, what is this for? X, Y, and Z. Um, I I I don't feel a type of way about not knowing things. I I used to joke with my friend like we have the internet. We don't have to know anything. Because we have the internet. And then yeah, I'm also not the type of person. I can get there's I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know what it is, but a lot of the traditionally I guess manly man things you have to know. I know some of them, don't know all of them. I'm not afraid to ask. Like I'll ask someone, hey, can you do this? There are certain things around the house I don't know how to do, but I can get it done because I feel, hey, I mean, I don't always
That's
have to
it.
know how to do it. I just have to know how to get it done. I went and I don't feel no type of way. I don't. It's not a hit to my ego. I went to school for 6 years to get a good job to be able to afford to pick this thing
Exactly.
up, call somebody to take care of some shit. That's
Exactly.
why. That's why you go to
Exactly.
college, folks.
Yep. That's
That's
what you
why.
gotta know.
That's why. Okay. I don't feel no type of way about having a plumber come and do anything because while he's
Right.
doing his job, I'm gonna be
Yep.
on the couch watching LeBron. Okay. But I say all that to say that, it was ingrained in me. If you don't know, ask. If you don't know, ask. And the person who taught me this is the person who refuses to ask for any help.
Yeah, there you go.
And I've had to remind this person several times, aren't you the person who told me if you don't know, ask? Well,
Do
yeah,
as I
well,
say, not
yeah,
as I
what? But
do.
what? Exactly. I don't want to bother you. It bothers me when you don't ask me for things
Hmm.
and I got to come back down here and fix them anyway. Typically, because then typically by that time, like you said, we been working on this for however long, so we're in deeper than we should be, which means I got to spend
Hmm.
energy just to get us back to
Exactly.
stasis, and then
Exactly.
and then solve the problem.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yes, just to get the fucking
Uh-huh. Take
equilibrium, I gotta
quarterback snaps. Yep. Yep. 100%.
just oh my god. It's like, oh, and they don't get it because you try to do it yourself and you went backwards. That's why you got.
Leave well enough alone.
Hey, it's like I leave well enough alone. Like I had, uh, my parent, her, I guess her antivirus lapsed, and she had to use the computer for something, and it just so happened that her computer basically died, because of the antivirus, and she's coming up here, tears in her eyes, and I'm like, what is wrong? And she explains, and I'm like, because of course I have antivirus because I pay for it. Um, I'm like, why didn't you just ask me about this, and I could just put you on mine because you can have like five whatever devices on it. I'm like, why didn't I don't want to disturb you. I'm like, but now we got
Yeah.
to figure out how to defrag your computer, and you need to, and you're supposed to have like
Wow.
a meeting in 2 minutes.
Yeah. That's the stuff. That's the stuff.
That's the stuff. uh, so yes. So to tie all this in the bow, yes, I realized that my parents are just
Yeah.
people a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. And very difficult sometimes. Very difficult people sometimes.
Yes, very much, very, very, very much. Um, it's hard. Um, I would say it's hard seeing like your parents, or anyone you care about, uh, age and like get older. Just like you literally, it's like, what's the movie like
Mm.
Benjamin Button?
Mm-hmm.
It's like aging kind of in reverse. It's like you know the closer, I guess, children and then older folks.
Exactly.
It's like it's the same struggle, but just going in different ways. Keep trying to do things yourself, but it's like you just can't, and
Yeah.
it has to be frustrating. Yeah, I don't imagine that is not, but it's like digging yourself deeper into this hole is not the answer. Um, and it's frustrating for children or even adult children. So it's like how you don't know how to relay this message in a
Yeah.
way that's going to get the stick. Because like you don't want to yell, can't hit them. Well, you shouldn't hit them. Shouldn't hit them. There's always
No.
one asshole telling me, yeah, you get him. Like, no, fool, you just like that's not the answer.
Yeah, it's definitely
Parental abuse is
definitely a
is a
thing.
thing. It's, it's, so you shouldn't do this. But it's hard, and plus it's like no matter how old you get, I learned this. No matter how old you get, your parent
Right.
will just
Right.
you'll always be their child, even if you're not a
Yeah.
child. Um, but it's hard for them to see you as an adult. So like
Oh,
forget
right.
being on equal footing.
Yeah.
Just as an adult, it's freaking hard. And it's like, and it's like, woman, I got a rent payment and a phone bill. Like I got a car note. I'm a
We
goddamn
real.
adult. Listen, right? Like, you're real. Okay, I got what my loan balance is. Sally
Exactly.
Mae knows I'm
Exactly.
an adult.
Right.
Trust me. Okay, you know what?
Ask
I tell you
if
what. Why
we
don't you
adults or
call
not.
Sally Mae and ask me if I'm an
Shoot.
adult. Ask me to be an adult. I ain't never
Listen.
spent as much money on a woman as Sally Mae.
Expensive.
Listen, yeah, well, the yes,
No. Never.
always
Never.
want
Never.
more. It's never satisfied. Don't never. Just anyway. I digress as I tend to do. It's hard for your parents just see you kind of as anything but a child, but it's um something that I definitely fight with every day. Um, but I've also decided that that's just the way it's
Mm-hmm.
going to have to be because like I still have to deal with the world,
Exactly.
the world as I see it and the world as it affects me. So and I have to move a certain way. And where I am kind of now is uh, I'm going to have to. I hate to say it this way, but I kind of have to take this person kicking and screaming to where we need to
Yeah.
go, and that's hard as an adult, as your parent's child. It's hard because there's always some part of you that's thinking, are you
Right.
doing the right thing? Um, but it's like you have to look at it. It's like, well, if I don't do this, what happens?
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
What
yeah.
is the outcome worth it? And it is.
hmm Yeah, because and I've had to say, hey, I've gotten better. Still got work to do, but I've gotten better at taking the time to kind of explain certain things. Because again, being
Mm-hmm.
single on my own, just kind of do
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do. Don't explain anything to anybody. So it's like benefit of being single. And then on top of
Uh-huh.
that, I'm a dude, so I damn sure ain't saying nothing to you. Just get like me or get on. Like that's just But I realize like that's something that I gotta work on because like particularly if you're expecting people to like come along with you or you need them to do things for you or in tandem with you,
Yeah.
like they deserve an explanation. Um, so I'm learning kind of relearning how to do that. Um, but still, making the decision to move forward. So it's very difficult. wish it on anybody else. But um,
Family.
yeah, family, folks,
Yeah.
family.
Can be difficult. One of the greatest things, but can also be one of the most difficult things, you know? So, sure.
Have you had, or I guess not have you, but I guess how have you like established and enforced
I think that,
boundaries with family?
well, I think some of the things with me maybe were a little bit easier because I've kind of always been the same even since I was a kid. You know, like there's just certain ways you know, you'll hear different family members of mine
Okay.
say I've always been. So I think some of those things kind of help. I mean, and then I'm just I mean, it takes a lot for you to, you know, to push me um, over that line. But if you get close to it, you know, I have no problem telling someone very quickly you know, what kind of boundaries I have, you know, what kind of discussions I'm willing to have, what kind of discussions I'm not willing to have, ways that we're going to communicate, ways we're not, you know, things that I'm willing to tolerate and things I'm not willing to tolerate. So I try to make it pretty clear. 'Cause I'm a pretty clear person and just in general when I say things. So, you know, once I say it, I feel like it's up to you from there. You know, if you make it there, if you make it close enough for me to have to really draw those lines with you, then we're probably already having an issue, right? So it's probably something we've already been discussing, you know, because I try not to let things go too far. So, you know, as soon as somebody rubs me the wrong way, I'll tell them. Family, not family, whatever it is, I'll just say whatever, you know, so this way it's not festering, right? And this way it doesn't get a chance to be molded into something else, right? Something that's ongoing. And next thing you know, a year from now, you're like, yeah, but last year you did X, Y, and Z, or you said this, or you said, I don't like those kinds of things, right? So I just like to address it in real time. And this way we just deal with it. You know, I'm lucky in that I don't have a lot of drama with my family members. You know, I've seen a lot with other people, and I feel very grateful that I don't really have that. Now that there might be some other people in my family that have their issues, but me myself, I'm a pretty nonchalant person just in general. So I don't do a lot of drama, and people that know me know that. You know, I don't. Yeah, I'm not the person for the drama at all. Mm-mm. Nope. Yeah.
Hey,
How do you do?
nice.
And do you have people that you've had to set
Uh,
certain
uh,
boundaries with, or you know, or like in your family, is it something that is difficult for them to accept whatever boundaries you have?
I think, see, for me, for the longest time, the boundary was just me not dealing with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and I'm and I'm out. Uh, so like that was the boundary. Um, but as I gotten older, one and kind of learning um what boundaries are and why they're important and the importance of them. Um, it can kind of be difficult. But you know, establishing boundaries is important. I'm working on them with with my parent. You know, like there are certain things that like I do not, and when I feel the need to like justify, the way I live my life or the things that I do, like particularly if it's something
Mm-hmm.
that I'm paying for or I'm taking ownership of. Like a lot of the things that I want to do that I do in my life cost either time or energy or money. Um, so I guess kind of a boundary there is like if
Mm-hmm.
you ain't paying your admission fee. I don't want to hear
Mm-hmm.
it. I hate. I don't like people tell me how to do things and they ain't paying for it, or they ain't spending like the time and energy to do
Right.
this. Like, no, you don't.
I agree with that.
You don't get to share your opinion.
Mm.
Like,
Yep.
pay your fee and shut up. Like, 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 like that's that. And now, that's what kind of bothers me about churches, but that's the topic for another day. Um, so we can talk about that on a future episode. But yeah, like, you know, if you're not invested, if you have no skin in the game, and I didn't ask you your opinion,
Uh-huh.
like that's the thing. If I didn't ask you,
Yeah.
and you
That's
have
a
no skin
big
in the
one.
game, why are you talking about this? Um, that's like so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but I've gotten better at kind of shutting that down. Was like, I know you didn't ask me. You're right. You are, man. Told you. I totally correct. I did not ask you at all.
So we can stop right.
Didn't even occur to me to ask you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I am glad that we are on the same wavelength, homie. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Why don't you go on?
Yep. Yep. You're on that one.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
you are perceptive, homie. I like that. Hey man, yeah, I like that about I like that about you. You are perceptive, kid. but yeah, like I'm not really. I'm not. And again, I know I said that you have to explain.
Mm-hmm.
It helps to explain certain things, but certain things I'm not going to explain. Um, and the reason I'm not is because I don't have to. And I've said that. I've been asked about something, and I was like, no, I don't feel like
There you go.
explaining it. And I was asked, well, why? And I'm like, because I don't have to. I don't want to. I've
Yeah.
said I don't answer to you. It's like, it probably sucks to hear it, but it's like, you know, I don't. And if this thing goes wrong, I'm the one that I'm prepared to deal with
Exactly.
whatever fallout comes with it.
Yeah.
I don't need permission. But like that's hard. Um, establishing those particular boundaries with their parent, because
Mm-hmm.
this is the person you've always asked for permission, or you've had to explain certain things, or explain things to. But I'm like, no,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
no. It's like, um, but in outside of that, um, just being mindful of kind of my energy. I'm very clear on the fact that you're not going to talk to me any old way. And I have no problem making that clear. Because you want me talking to you any old way. Um, and if people don't want to respect that boundary, I'll have no problem removing myself. Because I'm not a
Exactly.
person that's going to go back and forth with anybody. Um, which typically just leaves one other option, but that's a lot more paperwork than I prefer. So I'll leave.
Uh-huh.
I'll leave. It's like, uh, yeah, just it's like, 'cause some people will push you, but you gotta try to
Mm-hmm.
understand when it's time to just remove yourself from the situation. So, but boundaries are important, um, particularly with family. But I think those can be the hardest ones to establish and maintain,
Okay.
because it's family, and like there's this you know sense of disappointment, I guess, in you when you try to establish certain
Right.
certain boundaries
Right.
that are actually healthy. um, Uh, yeah. And people understand, like, again, 99%
They
of
have
the
their
time they
own
understand what a
very
boundary
often.
is. But like,
Mm-hmm.
they have their own. Yeah. But like, why is it, when it's me and
Right.
it's, the
Yeah.
family, now it's a problem. Well, it is usually the
Yep.
troublemaking
Yep.
family members that
Yep.
have the biggest
Those are the
problem with the
ones gonna tell you
boundary.
about how you acting funny, and oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It's like, no, listen, mm-mm. I have to stay peaceful. I mean, people, if you'll like drama, you'll do drama. I'm gonna protect my peace this way, and I'm not even getting involved. You know, that's why I don't pick my phone up all the time. That's why I don't. That's why I'm not always making the calls and doing all that stuff. And, a lot of that stuff I just don't do. I found over the years, it's like as you get older and you start to recognize these things more, you start to realize the things you need to do to protect you, right? Especially because people are going to be whoever it is that they are. You're not going to be able to change them. So I have found that what works best for me is just to change my interaction with them. So because I can control what I do. I can't control what you do, but I can 100% control what I do.
Yeah. I like how you said that, particularly like that they're not not picking up the phone part, because that's sometimes that's the boundary as well, just not being involved. Um, just saying no to certain drama and certain foolishness. Um, and that's one of the things that my parent to this day struggles with, because again, she was the one that had to be the adult and had to raise everyone else. To the detriment of her being able to live her
Mm-hmm.
own life and do things that she needed to do or even wanted to do. To this day, people like still, um, calling and asking her for stuff, and I'm like, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Um, but her thing is, well, there's just always, I swear it's like her favorite saying, like, there's always somebody who's worse off, and I'm like, sweetie, you're worse off.
Right.
You are the one who's you make yourself worse off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you need to realize that. Like, have you noticed that no one be calling my phone?
Mm-hmm.
They got my number. You know that if you look at my phone, it has calls, but it's from like the three same people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two of them mean family. There's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not dealing with certain things.
Yep.
Even if you get a hold of me, I ain't dealing with it because you know it's just not. I'm just not. Part of it is, I don't have. Even if you tell me the story, it's probably not the whole story, and like I don't have the energy to try to figure out and piece together everything. Like I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
LeBron has the ball, so if I gotta choose, listen.
Exactly. I hear you.
Yeah, you can call it what you want, but it's like it's like y'all can't. You can call me and say hi, catch up or whatever, but like, nah, nothing. Don't ask me for nothing. I ain't getting anybody drama. I ain't taking nobody's side. I ain't even
Oh,
giving out. I'm not even giving advice. Like I don't. No, and it's not me being selfish. It's just I've seen enough or I've heard enough. Whereas like you know things things have to be vetted by me in order for me to
yeah.
really get involved, and I just don't
Yep.
have the energy or the desire to vet these things because I feel like it'll be. I feel like I will literally have to vet every single thing, and I'm like, it's not a life. Like you
Right.
shouldn't have to
Right.
vet every single thing
Yeah.
with your family. So it's like I'd rather just not deal with it. Um, do I miss out on things? Yeah, that's one of the costs of it. But it's like it's worth it to protect peace. um, but yeah, my parent and I, we go back and forth on that. Um, hey, I'm not I'm not the one stressing. I ain't worried about this person needing money
Good
or
place to
whatnot.
be. Good place to be.
It really is because like this, and it's just like there's so much drama. Like, and you start to wonder if it's just like you just like drama, just like dealing with drama and gossip and whatnot. I'm like I don't got time for that shit. It's like because it's like I saw it when I was in high school and I wasn't offended then, so I was like it's weird to see
Yeah. No.
like 60, 70, 80-year-olds doing the same stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like they don't realize it. It's just like, but yeah, like I'm not 14, so like
Yeah. No
these
drama.
kind of petty turf wars, I just never. Yeah, and it's kind of to me what it seems like. It's just like a turf war a lot of times, and then
Right.
like there are no winners. Um, like you just go back and forth over like some
Exactly.
like insult someone said 25 years ago. um, yeah, like another funny story. My parent loaned one of my cousins some money, a lot of money. Um, his cousin has yet to pay all of it back, but they had a falling out or something totally separate. My parent is in a position where like they need money. I'm the type of person like there's someone that owes me several $100s, and to this day I'm on his ass. Like I ain't letting that shit go. This person owes you like more than that. I don't care. Like we can get
My
back to
money.
the beef some other time. I need my money. Like my money. Like, but it's like she don't see it that way. It's like, well, I'm just cut you off, and I'm just not. And I'm like, can you afford to do that? Because like that, it's I've had to tell so many things. I've had to tell a person. It's just like I've had to tell a person, like you're walking and talking and acting
Mm-hmm.
like you can afford to walk and talk and act
Right.
a certain way,
Yeah.
and you can't. So it's like this.
I
I'm gonna
need
be
my
on a person's
money.
ass. I'm recruiting family members. It's like, yeah, all yeah, all the people that I help. Hey, now I'm calling. I'm cashing it in right now. Me need to get my money like that. That's how I am. Her thing is like, and I don't know if it's ego. I don't know what it is, but it's like,
Yeah. No.
she's not doing it. Um, but she still talks about the person like when I overhear conversations sometimes, and like they talk about this person. So I was like, is it just the drama and the conflict that
Right. Yeah.
you like, or what?
I like money.
I don't know. I like money. I like money. I like it when I like knowing it's in my account.
Mm-hmm.
I like having it and
Mm-hmm.
not needing it as opposed to needing it and not having it.
Correct.
Um, I feel life is better
Correct.
when you have it and don't need
Yep.
it.
Big difference.
So, uh, there's a big difference. There's a big difference. But again, it's just one of those things, and I don't know if I don't know if it's a generational thing or not, um, because we are definitely different. We operate differently. We move differently. We see things differently. But it's just like the level or just how different these things are. It's like what the hell? Um, and it really trips me out because it would it would make more sense if it was like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
me versus like my
Yeah.
grandparents or great grandparents. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. this is me and my parents, and it's like
Right.
the shit that I'm
Right.
doing, you taught me.
Right.
Like this this isn't grandma raised you
Right.
one way and now
Yeah.
you're raising me a different way. So now
Yeah. What you
grandma
taught
is
me.
like, no, it's just like, no, this is, if you don't know
Yeah.
something to ask, but I'm not going to ask you because I'm a parent. Like, no, that's, yeah, like, that's, like, for me, that's the part that trips me up. I wonder if you have experienced this. To the listeners out there, let us know if you've experienced this. But like that, like next generation thing, it is weird. Um, Now I will say, my parent is a baby boomer. I'm a millennial, yes, early millennial. I forget the
I don't
generation
know. I'm
that's
bad at
before us. Is
those.
it Generation X or Y? I forget which one it was. I don't know. I'm bad because there's the
Yeah, there
boomers and
is.
there's a generation before the millennials. But let's just say Generation X. But I know that a lot of Generation
Right.
X have millennial children. Like my parent, I'm a millennial
Yeah.
child of a boomer, so I know there's some difference there. Um, but it's still weird because my parent, again, taught me certain things. Um, that would seem that would people would look at as progressive, I guess. Um, but when it's time for her to do those things, it's like, and it's just weird. So I say all that to ask: have you experienced that? Do you experience that
I
um,
think that, you know what?
currently
I
when you were
think,
growing up? What have you?
well, I told you my dad is pretty like old school, so my dad's pretty traditional. So, any of the things that I'm doing, he's it's not what he was doing for sure. Like, I mean, my dad still puts like, the military corners on his bed when he makes a bed and stuff. That's how traditional my dad is. Um, so,
Hmm.
no, yeah, my dad makes
He makes his
bed.
bed.
My
He makes his
dad.
bed. Oh wow,
So
yeah, that's nice. I don't do
when
that.
my grandmother passed
Uh,
and we were going for the funeral, my dad wanted to put creases in his pants. That's how traditional it is. He's very much a serviceman, and he's serious about all of his stuff. It's like that. So yeah, so creases are that's not that's not a thing, right? So we don't do creases and all. You don't need no creases. Your pants look good. And he was like, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, they got a little bit of a crease in them anyway." So I guess that's because he earned it before he left. Like that's the type of person he is. So my dad, I mean, anything I'm doing is gonna be almost the exact opposite of what he was teaching me. And my mom is I think that some of the things that I got from her when I was younger, um, I think that she sometimes she'll say, "Oh, that didn't come from me," when it did. A lot of the things they did come from you. I watched you do things, and that's how I did. But now she's got like a different viewpoint or maybe a different way of doing something. So now it's whatever that way is that she's talking about versus some of the things that maybe we talked about when I was younger. So that's the thing that's funny with her. She'll be like, "I never told you that." I'm pretty sure you did. She'll be like, "No, that must have been your grandmother or somebody else." And it's like, okay, well, whatever. One thing about my mom, she's pretty high tech. My mom's into some stuff that even I'm not. So she's got a little leg up on me there. Hmm.
nice. Uh, eh, as I've said several
Yeah,
times, that's
they're fun though.
that's family. Yes, yes, they could definitely be fun. Um, but as uh
No, has
as we
it?
wind down, because do you
Yeah.
realize
Oh
it's
no,
been
it
over
has.
2 hours?
Yeah, this happens all the time. You
Yeah.
get lost in it and don't even pay attention, don't even look. We just go wherever the conversation takes us.
hmm And as I say all the time,
Yeah.
I talk until I'm hungry. So I am hungry. But I wanted to
Yes.
leave you guys with the hard truth of the week. I know that's something we kind of not slip, but we get such to get so into the conversation that we just forget
We forget our
the hard
segment.
truth of the week. You forget our segment. You forget everything that we want to do. We do like a 5-page rundown and do like 3 paragraphs of this whole
These are all facts, people.
thing. Yes, but I wouldn't have it any other way because like I just
Yeah.
I'm not going through like okay, this is section 1 and section 3 and I'm like I ain't doing that. If you get
We
to it,
here
then you get
now.
to it. If you don't, hey, we here now, as I always say. We here.
Yep.
That should be the slogan for the show. Soft talk, hard truths. We here now. Like that.
Yep.
Just be a picture of me like this. Hey, hey. But all right. So the hard truth. Some of the hardest boundaries you'll ever set are with the people who raised you, and I give you a second to let that marinate. All right. So I said I'd give you a second. Yeah. Like, we don't do dramatic pauses around here. We just but I let you get I let you get I let you get your bearings real quick before I launch into this. All right, but like I said, some of the hardest boundaries you'll ever set are the people who raised you, and what that means is loving your family doesn't mean sacrificing your emotional safety. Growth requires new rules, even when the people around you don't like the changes. Choosing yourself isn't betrayal, it's maturity. Let me say that last part one
All
more
right.
time. Choosing yourself isn't betrayal, it's maturity. So if you take nothing else from this episode, I hope to take that. Um, we've talked about dealing with family dynamics and how hard they can be. Um, we basically talk about deeply held family secrets and kind of how toxic and dangerous they can be. But please don't leave this episode thinking that neither one of us are like are neither one of us are family. We both acknowledge that family is important, but at the end of the day, family they're people too, and people are flawed. People make mistakes. People are human. And it doesn't stop just because someone shares the same DNA as you. People make mistakes. It's how you deal with them that defines you. But sometimes
That's very
you need to
true.
set
Yes,
boundaries,
growth
and
does not
that's
erase
okay.
love. It just sometimes exposes what the relationship was built on.
Oof, I like it. Mm. I can't top that, so we gonna stop there. Like that's see, Shay don't believe me when I say that she be dropping dimes and just dropping gems. Okay, she don't believe me. So like I have nothing to say. Like after this, I'm just saying
Until
bye.
next
So say
week.
bye to the people, Shay.
Take EP seriously.
Yes, yes. Goodbye, y'all. You say
Yeah.